Hello class, my name is Emily and this is my final project poster on the films Lamb and The Swan. These are both Icelandic films, so I apologize in advance if I pronounce any names wrong. My thesis is, after watching the following Icelandic films, it is evident that they convey two key themes in humanism: man versus nature and identity. We'll start with The Lamb here on the left. The Lamb is a 2021 film directed by Valdimar Johansson, and it centers around this married couple who's just lost their daughter Ada. One night their sheep ends up giving birth to a half-human, half-lamb baby, which you can see in the lead actress's Noomi Rapace's arm. She plays Maria, the wife in the movie. So Maria and her husband Ingvar end up taking the baby and raising it as their new Ada, their new daughter. In the end, Ada's biological father, who just goes by the Ram Man, ends up killing Ingvar and taking Ada back into the wilderness with him. So The Lamb tackles with the struggle of identity and man versus nature. Maria and Ingvar come in, separated Ada from her family, tried to turn her into something she's not, their deceased daughter. They ignore the abnormal signs from the animals and the environment around them. A big example of that is Ada's sheep mom. You'll see in several scenes of the film of her mom standing outside of Ada's window, just baaing and baaing and baaing until Maria loses it and shoots her. In the end, Ada's bio-father, the Ram Man, represents nature's wrath in reestablishing order, punishing the couple for disrupting the law of nature. This interpretation was shared with Noomi Rapace herself in an interview with Eric Francesco, and I thought it was interesting, just the idea of nature taking revenge against man for interrupting their plans, their order of things. The next we have The Swan film. It is a 2017 film directed by Asa Helga Hjorleif's daughter, and the lead actress there is a young girl named Sol, played by Grima Val's daughter here. And it's basically about a troubled girl who she gets in trouble for shoplifting for the second or third time. So her parents end up shipping her off to live with her aunt and uncle on a farm. And at first she has difficulties with that, just because she's never connected with people or nature or anything like that. But over the course of the film, she ends up changing. So The Swan also tackles with man versus nature and identity through the coming-of-age story of Sol. After spending time within nature and establishing a close connection with the animals, Agi the swan, who's an ambiguous spirit of the lake, according to her aunt, some folklore story where if people go to the lake, the swan spirit kills them. But around like the 45 to 50 minute mark of the film, Sol ends up going to that lake, and the swan, as you can see in this picture here, doesn't kill her. They end up getting along pretty well. And because of that, Sol ends up becoming a wiser and kindred spirit. This is actually a similar view in another article I found from Frederick and Marianne Brusat, who write about spirituality and practice, and they highly praise this movie, specifically like Sol's spirituality and her finding herself through nature and discovering her new identity, all that. So in conclusion, from watching these amazing films, we can identify key moments of the characters' struggles with identity with others and themselves, and how they disrupt or bond with nature. Overall, I had a really great time watching both of these films, mostly The Lamb more than The Swan, just because it was much more dramatic and darker. You can find The Lamb on Amazon for $5, but The Swan, it's free on Canopy. So I highly recommend these films. Thank you for watching. Thank you.